Welcome to Death and Aliens, an in-depth look at horror and sci-fi TV from two friends who vaguely know what they're doing. I'm MK.
And I'm Courtney.
And Courtney, how are you?
Well, here's the thing. So I'm a new person, but like literally, I know I've said that a few times on this podcast, but now I actually am a new person. For those of you watching, I'm not at my apartment. I'm in a hotel room. Um, and so that's also why my camera's messed up because I didn't bring my phone holder. But I've been under a lot of stress lately that we don't need to get into, but it
Correct.
has made it to where I've now decided to be a minimalist. And I own very little things now. That's why I'm in a hotel room because I had people come and just get rid of everything I own, basically, aside from my furniture and a few
And your
things.
dog.
So, and my dog, but she's at Auntie Noel's today for the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
So she's okay. She's on vacation. But yeah, I went home today and it's not all set back up, and I was like, I can't be here yet. So tomorrow it'll be all set back up and I'll be like able to be a person again in my home, which will be really nice. I'm ready to not own things and just trying to live my best life. So I'm in a hotel in Midtown down the road from my office. Nothing thrilling, but they do have 24/7 coffee, and they have one of those like like espresso machines. I walked in, I heard someone say there was an espresso machine and immediately walked back down and like found coffee.
Yeah,
Um, so that was exciting.
that
And
is exciting.
you know, it's always I love a good hotel. I love being in a hotel. I know everyone doesn't. The bed's
I
not that
love it.
comfortable, but
I mean, I will say the bed in London were so uncomfortable, so stiff,
mm,
so bad. Um, but like the first night, I was fine, but then it's like after like 6 nights of the same very stiff mattress, you're like, oh, maybe I don't like stiff mattresses.
yeah,
Um,
so I'm only here one night for that reason,
yeah,
but yeah, so I'm just hanging out at my hotel recording and been watching Law and Order because
love it.
I bought the first season because you can't stream it anywhere. So I bought it like ages ago and just watch it every few months. So I'm doing that. How are you?
I can't remember what the last thing I talked about on the podcast was.
You went to Harry
I
Potter.
Yeah, I talked about Harry Potter, and I know I talked about like one non-London thing. I must have because
I have talked to you so much in the past week that I like don't even know what was said on the
I know
podcast
that's the
anymore.
thing. We spent like an hour. For full disclosure, we spent more than an hour already on a video call before we started recording. So like I don't remember what we've talked about. Um,
Yeah.
but I do know something that I didn't talk about on the podcast yet. And that is that once again, I am traveling. Because
Surprise.
surprise, it will not interrupt the podcast schedule at all. But this will be the last episode you guys see before my life has changed. Um, will not be the last episode I record before my life has changed, but it will be the last episode you see before my life has changed.
No,
So
this comes out on a Sunday. We have the one that
it
comes out on
does.
Thursday first too, right? You're going on Friday.
Oh, sorry, this will be the last sci-fi episode you see before my life has
Yes, yeah.
changed. Yes, sorry. Fair. Um, One day I was in my feels because I work at a very small Catholic school, and we've talked before about Catholic education in this country is not what it used to be. And anybody who works at a Catholic school is currently in kind of a tough spot on feeling like of job certainty. Um, and then also, the entire entertainment industry is on strike, which makes my other
Which is
job feel like I have a
helpful.
lot of job certainty there too.
Right.
So one day, while I was really sad about feeling like maybe I won't have a job come September, I decided to just search the internet for every Comic Con that every person, even remotely in like related to Stargate, might potentially be at. And I found one, and it was only 2.5 weeks away from the day that I found this. But I did the math and I figured out that I had enough airline points to fly for free. And so I texted Courtney and I was like, tell me not to do this. And she was like, you know, I can't do that. And then I sent it to my family and my mom was like, it could be a business trip. And I was like, so I bought all of the things. And um, August 11th, it is a Friday, I will be at the Game On Expo in Phoenix, Arizona, to meet Ryan Hurst, who plays Chick Hogan in Bates Motel, and Christopher Judge, who plays Teal'c. And I might die. Like, that might be.
So excited. I want you to know, I haven't heard anything about this story before you texted me. Like, I didn't realize you went through this whole situation of like, what is all the Comic Cons there nearby?
No, sometimes I just go to like random websites and type in celebrities' names and see what Comic Cons they're going to be at. And like Michael Shanks really only does things in Europe right now, which is upsetting, but it's fine. Actually, he was in Montreal, but it was like the same weekend I was in London.
Isn't he having visa issues? Didn't I hear that? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
In that group of people, that's kind of like they're going back and forth between like Canada and Europe because that's where things are right now.
Yeah, I don't know, but Teal'c, Christopher Judge obviously plays Teal'c, but the more recently, more importantly in his, not importantly, I guess, but like more substantially in his career at the moment, he was the voice of Kronos in God of War, the video games. And he's the voice of T'Challa. He does all the Black Panther voices for the Marvel video games.
I did not know that one. I knew he did God of War. I did not know about T'Challa. Yeah.
So this expo is specifically only for video game voice characters.
Oh,
so
of course.
So it's called Game On. It's only video game
what
voices.
What video game is Ryan Hurst done?
I'm trying to remember. He is also, I think in, let me see. I looked at it when I was looking at the website. He is Thor in God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've heard good things about it. I haven't played it, but I've heard good things.
So they're there for the God of War games, and I'm going to meet them for that. And because it's a video game only expo, it doesn't quite have the same like big name people that some of these other Comic Cons have. So it's like I think my ticket for the Friday day for the Comic Con was like $27 or something like that. Like it was not, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I didn't pay for my flight, and that would have screwed you.
Yeah. I don't know that I have $27 today, but like,
but I mean,
a lot of money this
here's
week.
The thing: if the ticket for the Comic-Con wasn't expensive, if we were going together, we would not need to pay separately for like the photos and autographs.
Sure.
And we could share a hotel room. The problem is you can't fly to Phoenix right now.
Yeah.
So
correct. One day.
But yeah, so I will be in Phoenix, not this coming weekend, but the weekend after.
So exciting.
Very excited. So I've also heard that like Christopher Judge is just like the most amazing, genuine person when you meet him at
He has to be.
Yeah, like I mean, Amanda Tapping was also just so wonderful. I mean, and so were Ben and Joe, who you don't know yet. But
I'm sure they're lovely.
No, but Ben Browder and Joe Flanagan, neither of whom you know their characters yet, but obviously when we get there and we introduce them and when I talk about them, you'll see they were both just like super great. And I have so many stories for once we start talking about them. But
come back in 2 years and you'll hear them.
But yeah, so far I haven't been disappointed in anyone that I've met for Stargate. And
that's so nice.
Christopher Judge will be my 6th Stargate cast member in the year 2023.
Oh yeah, they were all this year.
Yeah,
So you're just
because
missing Michael Shanks in the core four.
I know because Joe, Ben, and Elena were in February. Richard was in April. Amanda was in July, and then Christopher will be this month. If I can somehow manage to meet Michael Shanks in the year 2024, it'll be. I mean, to be fair, I won't feel like I've completed it until I also meet Jason Momoa, but it's
Sure.
fine.
Sure.
It's fine. But
He's not the
yeah.
core four, but that's okay.
He's in the core four for Atlantis.
Yeah, but not for our core four of SG-1. I don't know anything about Atlantis. Atlantis doesn't matter to me yet. I don't
Yes.
care about Atlantis yet.
Yeah, but so okay. We will get there. The only one of the core SG-1 people that it is not possible for me to meet, obviously, is Don Davis. May his beautiful soul rest in peace.
But
But
he died like during the making,
he died
like while still
in
filming. So it's
yeah, no, he died very soon after, I believe, of
okay.
yeah, he did
Gotcha.
because
You
the
don't have to ruin when
no,
because
he didn't die until after SG-1 was finished, but before Atlantis was finished.
gotcha.
If
Gotcha.
so, there will be things that will happen to honor him, but it's a ways down the road.
Yeah.
He didn't stay in the show because of when he got sick, but he didn't pass away until they
Right.
were done. Yeah.
Maybe that's what I
Uh,
was thinking. Maybe that's what I was
yeah.
thinking.
Um, but yeah, so before we get into Stargate, now that I have already talked about it so much, Courtney, can you share some wisdom with us?
Absolutely. This is to me. But also to all of you. Here's to the woman I'm becoming. May she confidently claim opportunities, believe in her unlimited potential, and manifest the most beautiful, abundant, successful, and joy-filled life. I'm
Yes,
doing a lot of manifesting this week.
I love it. I love it. You know what else we're doing this week?
Watching Stargate
Watching Stargate,
or
and
something.
what an episode of Stargate this was. I don't remember it. I watched it on Saturday. That was a year ago. So we'll
I
see.
watched it 4 hours ago and I didn't know what was happening for a while I was watching it. And I was like, why are we having this episode this way?
Oh, I know what episode. Okay, sorry. Like I said, I watched it on Saturday. I can't remember what episode we were talking about. We're talking about Stargate SG-1 Season 4, Episode 3. It is called Upgrades, and it was rated 8.3 stars.
Really?
Yes.
I would like to object to that, Your Honor.
Okay. And do you have a reason?
I just felt kind of out of place. Like I didn't like there was nothing that like grabbed me in it.
Okay.
And it didn't feel like it like at least in storylines that don't feel like they fit into the like immediate storyline for me or like feel like they followed up with what we did.
Yeah.
Something else happens that like catches my eye. And this one I just feel like didn't really do it. I understand it's in the like it's the Toker, it's Apophis, and like whatever, but like
Yeah.
just didn't feel like an 8.3 to me.
That's fair. I will tell you that this is the first season of Stargate that we will have an episode that is above 9.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes,
What do you
obviously
think? Do you
not.
think it should be 8.3?
Eh, I mean, I think it was a really well done episode. I think somewhere in the low eights is fine, but uh, eh, I like it because I like any time that I see people doing really dumb things that like don't really make sense. I like
That's fair.
and like Teal had some fucking gems of moments in
Yeah,
this
he did.
episode. So, I don't know. Yeah, sure. My answer is sure, I guess.
Okay.
It
Love
came
the
out on
commitment.
yeah, it came out on July 14th, 2000. The number one movie, going back to reminding us just how old we are, was
No.
X-Men.
So I didn't watch it when it came out. I just watched it when I've been doing my Marvel rewatch
I
for the
I
first time. And I
did
was
watch.
like, I like the X-Men
Oh
movies.
yeah,
I didn't
no.
know.
X-Men and the Sam Raimi Spider-Man walked so that the MCU could run.
Yeah. Which one was the Sam Raimi one?
Tobey Maguire.
Yes, correct. I
Yeah.
I knew that. I knew that before I asked you. I don't know why my brain didn't connect that. But yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, I didn't watch the X-Men movies till like within the past couple of years, and I love them.
The first one is just so
Yeah.
good. Um, the number one book or the number one song was the same. I think it was the Enrique Iglesias one. The number one book was The House on Hope Street by Danielle Steele.
Okay.
Yeah. I have never read a single Danielle Steele book, and I have no intention of ever reading it, but like if you like romance, she's it. Like
She's the one. Yeah. Yeah. You
um
say Danielle Still, and I'm like, yep, sure, that tracks.
yeah. Um on that day, it was Bastille Day. Obviously, July 14th, Bastille Day. Ooh. Um, which for those of you who don't know is French Independence Day. Um, but it
Yeah, I
was
didn't
in
know.
fact, oh,
So
yes,
thank
Bastille
you.
Day. Bastille Day is like the 4th of July, but for France.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
It is French Independence Day. It's because it's the anniversary of when the palace prison, the Bastille, was stormed during the French Revolutionary War.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
But on this particular Bastille Day in 2000, there was a solar flare that was one of the largest
Are
ever
you saying
recorded.
Bastille? BAST,
Yes.
like the castle? I thought you were saying
Yes.
best deal.
Oh no,
And I was like, I don't know
Bastille.
what that means. So
No, Bastille.
that makes way more sense. And I do
I
know what
was
Bastille
I
Day.
was like I mean, you're from New Orleans. I'm not going to pretend that somebody from Louisiana should definitely know about French independence, but like someone from Louisiana should definitely know about French independence.
I do. I just can't hear words.
Okay, cool.
That's all. Because when you said best deal, I was like, is that like Amazon's Prime Day or something? It was like,
I mean, Prime Day is also mid-July, so like that's not the worst thought. No, but Bastille
yes,
with
yes,
the
yes, yes.
T.
Right.
um,
Yes.
there was a solar flare that day that is known as the Bastille solar flare, because it happened July 14th of 2000, and it was like the beginning of the jumping off point for learning about weather patterns on the sun. Like it changed everything we knew. That solar flare changed everything we knew about weather patterns on the sun. It's just kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
all. It was also the
Love a good
day that
science day.
it was also the day that season one of Big Brother UK premiered.
Well, I was gonna say I watched season one of Big Brother US
That
during
premiered
COVID.
July 4th, 2000. So only 10 days before
Okay.
this one. But the reason I even brought that up is because this week was also the week that they announced the house guests for Big Brother 25 of the US. And Brie and I have never been less enthused about a group of people in our entire lives. We have no
Is this one of the
desire.
celebrity ones or just like a
No,
generic?
no, it's just regular ones, but like the people seem boring.
That's a bummer. I have only watched the first season. I started the second season. So like I'm not super invested in anything, but I liked it from what I
Yeah.
saw.
No, I've watched all 24 previous seasons
Yeah, yeah.
and 7 or 9 of the 10 Canadian seasons. No, only 8. I'm trying to remember. I caught up on all of Big Brother Canada while I was in Thailand. And then when I moved to America, I could no longer use the same VPNs to watch Big Brother
Oh.
Canada. So I'm behind on Big Brother Canada, but I've seen every US. And Brie and I are like, uh. So that's because of the writer strike. They moved it to the fall instead of the summer, and it's a summer show. And I feel like I'm not going to enjoy watching
It
it
is a
during the
summer
school year.
show. Yeah. I watched it during
Yeah,
the summer during COVID.
yeah,
Oh, I know it's a summer show.
yeah. So we'll see. Um, the episode was directed by Martin Wood and edited by Alan Lee. So those two are the same, but we do have a new writer.
Ooh, that tracks.
It was written by David Rich. He is known for Stargate, the movie Renegades, and MacGyver. He has about 5 writing credits, but he has also written 2 books and 3 plays.
What's his name again?
David Rich.
Okay.
I looked up his plays and none of them were ones I'd heard of. But I'm sure it's fine. I just didn't know any of the stuff he wrote, and he didn't have like a big social like online presence for any personality. But actually I was scrolling through his Twitter and
His ex.
What? Oh, sorry.
His ex.
While I was scrolling through it, it was the day before my phone switched from Twitter to X. So at the time, it was still Twitter. So I was scrolling through his Twitter. That is the most. I went to tweet something the other day and I couldn't fucking find Twitter on my phone because it wasn't Twitter anymore.
I only knew because I get like notifications from a couple different writers and I don't always clear them. And so 2 of the like tweets that I gotten showed up with the Twitter icon, and the next 2 showed up with the X icon, and I was like, "What is happening?"
Yeah,
that's how I literally switched to X.
I went to go tweet about Pip the other day because I was having issues with her claws, and I went to go tweet about it, and I couldn't fucking find Twitter on my phone. I thought I forgot the alphabet because my apps are arranged in alphabetical order, and I thought I forgot the alphabet because I was like, no, where is Twitter? It should be here, right? I'm so mad. But anyway, I was looking at David Rich's X, and he he tweeted on July 14th because it was the 23rd anniversary of this episode, and he was tweeting, somebody had tweeted about how it was 23 years of this episode, and he tweeted that he still wants one of the bracelets and that he wishes the props had let him take one.
They should have.
Right?
They should have. It's only fair.
Yeah.
What are they doing with them? They don't need them.
They probably don't exist. They probably got destroyed.
So we throw them out.
Yeah. The guest star I want to talk about played the Tok'ra Anise. Her name is Vanessa Angel, which sounds like a porn star name, but she swears that it is her birth name. There have been interviews where she was like, that is such not a stage name. She's like in interviews been like, I promise you I understand, but that is not a stage name. She's like, these are my parents' names and like their last name Angel. She's like so dead set that is not a stage name. Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
She is known for Kingpin, Super Babies, Baby Geniuses 2, and Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
That is a wild array. I have not seen any of them, and I'm only familiar with one of them.
Is it Super Babies?
It's the one that's the only one I've heard of. I don't know anything about it other than I've heard of it. And this feels wild. That feels like a wild like collection though.
She has a lot of credits, but very few that I recognize. Most of them seem like just like completely out of the box. No one's ever watched them movies. She is in one Hallmark movie that I happened to watch the year before last year, called Merry Xmas, but EX-MIS, and I only watched it because Dean Cain was in it, and Lachlan Monroe.
Is that Dean Cain?
Yeah.
Where is that from? Is that from John Mulaney?
It's John Mulaney, yeah.
I was like, that was so long ago that I don't remember where that started.
And also she had a movie that just came out this summer with Megan Fox, but it looked
Megan Fox had a movie that came out this summer?
Right. That's how I feel. I thought Megan Fox just spent the whole summer potentially breaking up with MGK. So beats me.
And things that are important.
MGK is coming to Niagara Falls, Ontario in September, but I didn't buy tickets because they're like $250 and I like love him, but I don't know if I love him that much.
I still haven't listened to his music yet. I saved it to my Spotify when you told me to, and that is it. Okay, anyway. I just searched Megan Fox summer movie and Holiday in the Sun came up.
Well, that is a movie Megan Fox is in that's in the summer. That
is not what I would have. I was not expecting that. That really threw me off. Let's try Johnny and Clyde.
Yes, it's called Johnny and Clyde. Um,
And Expendables 4?
yeah, no, but Johnny and Clyde is the one that also has
Interesting.
Vanessa Angel in it. Um,
Interesting.
this cast list is insane. Tyson Ritter.
Where, what?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Is he
Megan
still around?
Fox.
Does he still do stuff?
Apparently he's in this movie. Megan Fox. A Johnny Russell, who I do not know. Um, but is most known for being a skateboarder before being an actress. And then
Tyson Ritter.
Avon
Has he ever acted before? I'm so sorry. I'm like,
Tyson. Oh, you're still on
didn't.
Tyson Ritter.
I'm still
Hold
on
on.
Tyson Ritter. I
But
don't
hold
think he's
on.
ever been in a film.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. The next name though is Avon Jogia, who is from Victorious.
I did not watch that. I do know his face though. I mean,
Is that
I'm sure I've seen episodes
wait?
of
Maybe I'm
Victorious, but
wrong on
like,
who he is. No, he's
no,
from
no, he's from
Victorious. I'm correct.
Victorious.
I'm correct. Okay. So
I just like
Tyson Ritter
recognize his
of
face.
All American Rejects and Avon
Yeah.
from Victorious and a skateboarder who I've never heard of and Megan Fox and this chick made a movie this year
Look, live your
about
best lives.
serial.
They're also performing again.
Yeah, the movie's about serial killers.
What?
It's called Johnny and Clyde, but it's about a
I mean, that
serial.
makes sense, but like,
But it's not about like bank robbers. It's about serial killers.
this is the wildest thing that has ever happened in the world. I am so sorry for being so distracted by this unknown film that, wow.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's like Bonnie and it's a crime spree.
Isn't it? But I thought
They are also serial killers.
Okay, yes. I was like, it's a crime spree, but it's a crime spree of serial killing, not just bank robbing.
Right. They do. It seems they do both.
Oh,
and there's a
great.
demonic warrior in it. So
I feel like I have to watch this movie just to know what's
happening here.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's like available. Like I think it's on like Prime Video, Redbox,
That sounds,
Apple TV. Like it's like
that sounds
in the
correct.
world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That is. Maybe I'll watch it tonight when I get done. If it's like streaming available, not paying available.
Right. Yeah. So on that note, let's get into this episode because honestly, our reaction to this film might be more exciting than the rest of this episode, and I'm so sorry about that.
Guarantee you. No question.
So the episode starts with the gate opening. They got a message from the Tok'ra, and they didn't say who was coming or why. So Jack complains and starts talking shit about the Tok'ra until he sees that the Tok'ra who came through was an attractive lady.
Right.
And then he like turns into an idiot. And then Daniel also turns into an idiot. Yeah. But Anise, the Tok'ra, brings them these bracelets from an ancient culture that will give the wearer strength and speed. And the Tok'ra and Gould have both been looking for them, but Anise found them because she is an ancient cultures expert. And the funniest moment was when Daniel was like, I'm an ancient cultures expert. And she goes, I know. And then just kept talking over him. And I was like,
because these are two different things. These are two different things, Daniel. Sorry.
Unfortunately, the bracelets seem to not work on the Tok'ra, and it's most likely due to the symbiotes. So Anise only brought 3 for them to test on SG-1. And Sam's like, but what about me? Like, I don't know if that'll actually work because like Jolinar's protein. And she's like, yeah, I eat. She's like, it seems to just be the symbiote itself, not the protein marker.
Yeah.
Which makes sense when we figure out that it's because it releases a virus and the symbiotes don't fucking let them have viruses in their system. That should have been the first clue. If it doesn't work because of the symbiote,
it's not good for your body because the symbiote is rejecting it.
Correct.
Yeah, I was convinced she was the new destroyer of worlds.
That's honestly fair.
I'm not over that the destroyer of the worlds is now gone.
Yeah.
That feels like that's the most important title.
She did seem 100% sketchy from the beginning. Like there was no doubt in my mind that this was not a good idea.
Absolutely.
So Anise gets like super fucking angry that they want time to think it over. And she's like, no, we have to do this right now.
Also, red flag.
Right. But then her host like pops in and apologizes, and it's like she's just like really passionate about this project. She's been working on it for so long. Please, like, forgive her. I for sure was not cool with that. So they like.
I mean, I would also react that way if it was a project I've been working on for ages, but also I'm not working on a project that's going to alter people's bodies. Like, I would be like, you have to read my book and you have to tell me everything about it. Like, it's like that's different.
Yeah,
it's not violent.
yeah. Also, like, if somebody's like, I don't know what this is going to do to my body, give me 10 minutes to like think.
Yeah.
And I said, fuck off, absolutely not. That feels like probably not a good thing.
Okay.
But so they like kind of reluctantly and awkwardly agree, and then the credits come in. So that's setting us up for nothing good can happen. Like there's that this setup tells us that zero good things will happen in this episode. Luckily
100%.
some good things do happen, but not on purpose. So Anise sets them up with these monitors and puts the bracelets on just Jack to like start, because apparently we always start with Jack whenever there's weird science that might fuck people's bodies up. So we somehow always start with Jack.
Yeah, they're like, I hope you're all right.
Yeah.
Test it on him.
So then Jack goes to spar, like he's training with Teal'c, and he's like, man, Teal'c, you're taking it really easy on me today. And Teal'c's like, no, I'm not. So then he tries to like punch Jack, and Jack does like a weird Matrix move to like evade Teal'c, and then punches him and knocks him fucking out cold.
It just looks like he just like disappears. And I was like, this is what we do now. We just like yeah. I know it's supposed to be, but it looked like his face just like disappeared and reappeared places. And I was like, okay, these are meant to be molecules.
2000s CGI.
I know.
Listen, up until 2004, people still shot on film.
Yeah. You know.
So, then they go to the infirmary, and Teal'c's fine, but they test Jack's strength with this little squeezy ball, and it is 5 times that of a normal human. And he makes a fucking dumb-ass comment, and he just goes, oh, so nothing's changed. The look on Janet's face when he said that.
The look on Janet's face this entire episode.
Oh, yeah.
She was done with everyone.
So she's like, hey, Anise, you told me you'd let me like know how to read these things that you're saying. Can I look at your screen? And Anise is like, abso-fucking-lutely not. She like totally dismisses her and was like, okay, time to add Daniel and Sam to the study.
Yeah. Ugh, bless.
So then Jack goes to see Daniel, and who still like feels like he hasn't really felt anything or effects from the bracelet at all. And he reads The Fall of the Roman Empire by John Hobbes in its entirety and understands it in 5 seconds, all while still eating. Because he has not stopped eating since he punched Teal'c in the face.
Because everyone's starving.
Janet also finds Sam doing an experiment on the armbands in the dark because she can see so well that she didn't realize the lights were off. And so she's like, okay, Niece is not going to let me see any of the data she's taking, so I'm running a screen on you myself. Smart. Because you have a fever.
Yeah.
And so Sam's like, are you doing this because you don't trust Anise? And Janet doesn't say anything, but
yeah.
But zero trust is happening there.
Right.
Then
as it should be.
Right. Then we have a really short scene where Jack just like runs super fast and squishes the strength test ball.
Some of the choices. It's fine. It's fine.
And then Anise takes her notebook to Daniel because, you know, he is also an ancient cultures expert.
Right.
And he reads the entire notebook again in like 5 seconds and then begins to speculate why the people went extinct. And then this like yellow diamond of light just like appears on his armband. That's not concerning at all.
Right. Not at all.
So then they're in the infirmary because these little yellow lights have appeared. And Janet like attacks Anise and she's like, why are you cool with this armband releasing a virus into their bodies? And like, Anise is like, well, yeah, but like, it's fine. And Janet is basically like
Let's not
not
worry
saying,
about it.
yeah, Janet's basically not saying that like Anise has bad intentions. Janet's saying that she's too close to the forest to see the trees. Or too close to the trees to see the forest. Yeah.
Yeah. Which like is fair.
Like she's like,
but I think she like knows a bit more than that too.
Probably, but like that's Janet is such a good person that that's not even her first thing. She's like, I'm not saying that you want to hurt people. She's like, I'm saying that you care so much about the science that you're not thinking about the hurting people part of it.
When instead I'm the one she walks through the gate. I'm like, she's the new destroyer of the world. Like, didn't even do anything yet. And so
no,
Janet is
like
a person.
You're like, oh, it's a woman? Okay, fuck her.
Yeah, she's about to do something crazy. Like, who knows what's gonna happen? But
which like, what is this show like written in a way that like a woman comes through the gate and you immediately do not trust her?
But also like that's because the women in the show are so like they're stronger than the men. Like
and
the men
they're
are the
stronger than the men.
Take out.
They're stronger than the men, but they're also way worse. Like not all of the female bad guys are fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean we have Hathor, Destroyer of the Worlds. I mean, look, it is that woman who that was also nobody knew anything. That was Destroyer of the Worlds.
That was Destroyer of the Worlds again. Yeah. Then there was the woman who put Daniel in the sarcophagus and made him age, but made him not age but lose his mind to marry her when he was already married.
And you have a Papa's just kind of like he just tries to shoot at you, like
yeah,
and then disappears and then doesn't die. He just tries to shoot you and doesn't die. That's what he does. So like yeah, no, the women are like way more creative.
And then when there was the tribunal thing, not the tribunal, the meeting that Thor set up with all the different like system lords to try to save Earth, it was the woman who was the fucking one who backstabbed everybody and tried to kill them all.
Yes. Oh God, this show it knows.
It knows.
It knows what's up.
It's on the Lady Macbeth train of thought, clearly.
As we all should be.
So Janet wants to remove the armbands and make sure the effects aren't permanent. Like, she's like not saying that the experiment has to stop. She's just saying like, let's time out and make sure we haven't like killed everyone.
Yeah.
And like, General Hammond goes along with her and is like, Anise, I'm sorry, but this is my base, my rules. We have to stop this. So he goes to the team and he tells them, and they all like, absolutely not. We don't want to take them off. We want this to keep going. And Janet's like, well, here's the other thing. This virus seems to have like a narcotic effect on you. And I would also like to make sure you're not fucking drug addicts now.
Yeah.
And Jack's like, still not going to do it. And Hammond's like, direct order. Jack's like, fuck, okay. Because at this point, Jack probably shouldn't still be in the military with the number of times he has ignored a direct order.
Yeah.
So he tries to take it off, and turns out you can't.
Yep. Can't trust anyone.
So then the team is acting like straight crackheads. That was my next note. And Jack is like, okay, cool. We have all these superpowers. Let's go to work. And Hammond's like, no.
Yeah. He's like, so then, absolutely not.
So then Jack accidentally knocks Sergeant Seiler over a balcony and breaks his arm. Just like casual.
Yeah.
So the whole lot of them start having like roid rage meat cravings while they're locked up. And they're like, let's break out and get steak.
To be fair, not a terrible like life choice in general.
Right. So they go out to a bar called O'Malley's and they get steaks and they each get 4.
Yeah.
And then they get into a bar fight.
Because that's what you do.
Yeah. When Hammond gets a call about their behavior, he asks like what they're supposed to do. And Janet's like, well, we won't have to keep them under control for much longer because they're all going into multiple organ failure.
Oh,
could you imagine?
she's so chill through this. Like, I would be stressed out. Like, because you don't know how to fix it because it's not stuff you're like, it's not a virus you're familiar with. And so, like, as a doctor, she's like probably at her wits' end and she is so chill about it, just doing her like
But
routine and like making sure they stay alive.
could you imagine that after everything we've been through, after all of the aliens that they've fought and all of the nonsense that has happened on the show, if they died at a steak restaurant of organ failure because of these goddamn bracelets?
That would
What a
just be
show.
like
What a show.
insane. Insane.
Um, Hammond, they get back to the base and Hammond asks them about the brawl and they admit that they were there and that they are like struggling to make rational decisions and that they like don't really know what's going on. When Anise just like shows up and is like, I just found out Apophis is building this super ship. We need covert soldiers. This is your chance.
Mm-mm.
And
Cannot with her.
Hammond is like, ma'am, in the most polite Hammond of Texas way possible. He's like, I know when someone is trying to manipulate and make a fool out of me, and nothing you are saying is the truth. And that is the end of that.
He's like, we are not doing this.
He's like, I don't trust you. I will not be sending my people out.
Correct.
So he locks the team back up. But unfortunately, he locks them up in a room with a computer. So Sam just gets on the computer and finds all of the battleship plans that Anise put in the computers. Hammond also is using the battleship plans, and he's asking Teal'c what Teal'c thinks. And Teal'c is very worried. He's like, if this happens, if this goes through, we will not be able to stop Apophis. It is necessary to destroy the ship. And he's like, I can't send them out. And Teal'c's like, then I will do it. He's like, alone?
He's like,
Teal'c's like,
I get it.
Teal'c's
I feel like if he had like normal people emotions, I could just like feel the exasperation in his voice. And he's like, oh, these morons. Okay, I'll do it. It's fine.
yeah. But Hammond's like, I can't send you alone. He's like, well, at this point, you don't have a choice. It's me or nobody. And we have to stop it. So Hammond's like, shit. Okay. So he's trying to figure out what to do about sending Teal'c by himself. And all the while, Sam has completely planned every way of how to sneak into the Goa'uld base and destroy the ship with all of their superpowers.
Oh, God bless.
So they go. They sneak out of the base and they go. And Teal'c tries to stop them, or at least go with them. And Jack's like, not this time, buddy.
Morons.
All the while, Hammond is trying to shut down the gate and or like open the blast doors or get any control over the base, but everyone else has been locked out.
Yeah.
Because Sam is now like 72 times smarter than normal Sam, who is already the smartest person there.
Yeah.
So they break through, they make it through, they break into the core. There's all this drama. Daniel steals some Naquadah. Everything's going really well. But Sam is like overheating, and then Daniel just passes out.
Yeah, if it weren't for the organ failure, like this might be really good for them. And the roid rage. No roid rage, no organ failure.
Right.
Maybe it would work out.
So while Daniel is passed out on the ground, his bracelet then just like disengages. And they're like, oh shit.
It's done with him.
Back at base, Anise and Janet find Hammond, and turns out that there's just like a natural antibody that the human body will eventually produce that kills the virus, disengages the bracelet, gets rid of all of the superpowers, and it will be happening to SG-1 at any minute.
Not convenient at all.
No. Yeah, again, maybe not the most nuanced plot that ever existed.
Yeah.
But luckily for everyone, Teal'c followed them. And he is saving Daniel because that is what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Jack and Sam go to get the last bit of C4 in place, and Carter's bracelet disengages while she's trapped on the inside of the force field with less than 3 minutes to the explosion. High drama. Jack tries to save her, And then his bracelet disengages just on the opposite side of her. And so they are trapped on two sides of the wall, like Rose and the doctor.
No. No. We cannot talk about that.
You know, that's the entire reason I stayed in Canary Wharf when I went to London.
I did not know that, but it makes sense. Makes sense.
Because I am an idiot. Anyway, Teal'c tries to go back for them when he realizes they're not behind them, but like the force field stops him too. And so he just stands there. And Daniel's like, what are we gonna do? And Teal'c's like, wait for them. And Daniel's like, so like the mountain's gonna blow up and we're all gonna die. And Teal'c's like, correct. He's like, okay, as long as we're
I feel like Teal'c's like, I'm just ready to go down with the ship. I can't take this anymore. I get it. Like, it's where I'd be.
Teal'c's like, my loyalty is to Colonel O'Neill, who might be the stupidest person on planet Earth, but unfortunately I swore a blood oath and this is where we're at.
And now we're here. Great.
Yeah. Then the explosion just like conveniently knocks out the force field. So everybody escapes. We have some cool action shots of them running away and Teal'c being a complete badass.
Of course.
And then, of course, they escape at the last second, as is always the case with this show.
Yes.
But then we get to my favorite moment of when they get back, because Jack comes back, and he is like, so, General Hammond, about that court-martial.
Yeah.
And Hammond's like, it's fine, you guys were acting under the influence of alien tech, like, it is what it is, I can't really court-martial you, but you're idiots. And they all apologize. And Teal'c just goes, I have nothing to apologize for, and walks away from them.
I was watching this The Office because no one's there. And I burst out laughing. And it caught me off guard so fast. So
and
funny.
They all look at him and he goes, he doesn't. He was following orders. And then Anise is like, correct. I hope that we get to work together again. And Jack's like, FBI, yay, fuck off. And that's the end of the episode. So yeah.
It's a good time.
Maybe 8.3 is a little high.
A little high. It's like terrible. Like I don't want to like throw it into the fire or anything, but like
right.
Also I'm not giving it 8.3. So yeah.
I do have 3 pieces of trivia. One,
I love a trivia,
is that the bracelet actually says, with great power comes great responsibility, which is great because we were literally, before we started talking about the episode, just talking about Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and that quote was originally from the Spider-Man comics. So,
yes,
10 out of 10.
Yes.
Amanda Tapping completed that trick shot in the pool scene by her, like, actually. There was no CGI or doubles or anything. She actually did that trick shot.
She's the best.
She is. And then the other one is kind of funny because Jack, when he knocks someone over the railing, he knocks Sergeant Siler over the railing. Sergeant Siler is a recurring character who is a very minor character who we've seen a couple times that we don't really know a lot about. But we briefly talked about this when we did talk about him as the guest star, and that is that Dan Shea, who plays Sergeant Siler, is Richard Dean Anderson's stunt double.
Right. Yes, I forgot about that.
So he pushed. So it's like the best person to have pushed over the railing because he actually
absolutely
is. Yeah. So basically, he like got to knock himself over the railing. Really.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. So those are my trivias. And then my question for you is, because I highly doubt you have any predictions, my question is, who would you like to punch?
Anise.
you know?
I called her the Toker lady. I did not catch her name for like the longest time.
You know? Uh, I was gonna pick a niece. So instead, I I guess I'll pick Jack because
Yeah.
he was like extra dumb.
Because like no one else sucks, but he was being a moron.
Yeah. And like when he first started making like stupid decisions, he should have been like, wow, probably don't put these bracelets on Daniel and Sam. But he didn't do that. So
Yeah.
there's that. Who
Here we are.
is your MVP?
So I'm back and forth a little bit because the
And I'm
first
sure
half
you're
of the
back and
show,
forth. You're back and forth between the same two people I am,
mhm,
100%. So like they'll both
the
win. So
first
just
half would have been Janet, but Tilk was probably my like main MVP.
okay. I thought you would pick Janet, so I was all ready to defend Teal'c. But you picked Teal'c, so I'm picking Janet because Janet was the one who was like, "What the fuck are we doing?" Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. No, they both
Bless.
could not. I mean, to be fair, General Hammond also 10 stars.
Yes. Yes.
But we would not have gotten anything accomplished without Janet or Teal'c. So there's that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yep. Love it.
Well,
Love it.
well, that one went kind of fast because it wasn't the most exciting episode, and we also didn't have weird existential like Hitler talk to get into.
We did have an
Um,
existential crisis today.
yeah. At least on the air we didn't.
Oh yes, yes. You aren't aware of that.
um,
Yeah,
but
it was still roughly
next,
an hour. We still like
yeah,
hung in there.
yeah. Next week, the episode will involve the Tok'ra again, but I won't give any more detail than that. So
Interesting. Because you did not give me a hint last week. I realized after we got off the air.
yeah, because I couldn't remember a fucking thing about this episode. Actually, no, I didn't even think
Fair.
to give you a hint because I was so deep in my intense confusion about Hitler.
Yeah. I had that same conversation with Rachel yesterday. Like
Uh,
I was talking about writing and brought up the Hitler alien thing.
yeah,
And I was like, let me tell you what happened on Stargate because she doesn't really watch Stargate, but she'll sometimes listen to like the horror side.
yeah.
And so I was like, if you decide to listen to this episode in like 20 years, I'm just going to tell you now because it won't spoil it for later. And I
I
went into our
was
whole little breakdown.
I was sitting with Dan Sunday morning after the podcast came out because I had edited it like Friday or something, so it was ready to go. So I forgot, and then I got the notification that it posted on Sunday, and I just go, Dan, I need to talk to you about something. He was like, "What?" I go, "What if the first person you met?" And he was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, these are the things I think about all the time.
I love how like you come up with this and then I just take it and go. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah.
And
And
you're like,
now when you were
yes.
like, I'm asking Dan, I was like, I should ask people this and then
Yeah.
incorporate those like themes into the book.
Yeah. Like
Like, but
what
they might react the same way as Dan, which
but he did
almost.
once I like explained that the Stargate episode and our train of thought doing that, he totally got it and was like, no, like that's really valid. And he obviously is a big World War II like history person, so he was like, no, all of your comments about the medicine and the technology and everything, like that's totally valid. And he was like, I don't know what I would do, like I don't. And I was like, right.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm gonna start asking people if you meet me in the next month, that's gonna be the thing I ask you. Everyone listening. So
yeah, we should put that on
oh, I
social.
absolutely will.
Yeah, yeah. So
It'll be
anyway,
it'll wild card Wednesday.
love it. um yeah, so we will go do some more Toker stuff next week. I will not have any Christopher Judge updates yet next week, because we will record before I get there. But if you have answers to the Hitler questions or to any thoughts or theories about anything that we've talked about so far, you can email us at deathandaliens@gmail.com, or you can follow us on all of the social media at Death and Aliens. You can follow me personally everywhere at EMKAY_superstar.
And you can follow me at CECloud13.
And we will see you all on Thursday for a real fucked up episode of Thriller Thursday.
It's going to be an interesting one.
Bye.